All right, welcome back. We're now on lesson 9. We're going to look at fractions of measurement. So hopefully we remember all of our conversions from last year. If not, maybe brush up on that and it'll be good. Our goal is I will be able to find a fraction of measurement and solve situations. So what I want you to do right now, find a piece of paper, pause the video, and I want you to fill these in. 1 pint is equal to how many cups? 7 pints. Keep going all the way down. Then for the quiz, this will be some of the questions on there. So if you have the answers ready, then your quiz will be much easier. All right, so, no, we're not going to do that one. All right, first problem, 1/4 of a pound is equal to how many ounces? So all we're doing is taking what we did from yesterday and putting it into measurements, okay? So when you look at LB, that means pound. Which is larger, a pound or an ounce? Hopefully you're thinking pound, okay? I know this is a system that is not very used here, but you do want to learn it just so that we can be able to really understand how to do this. So a pound is larger than 1 ounce, okay? So if you notice, we're talking about 1/4 here. We're not talking about 1 pound is equal to, okay? We're talking about 1/4 of a pound. But we do need to know how many ounces are in a pound, okay? But anyway, so we're expressing a fraction of a larger unit. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that. Larger unit as a smaller unit, okay? So we're doing larger to smaller. You want to remember that because later on we're going to go smaller to larger. But right now, larger, a pound is larger, to smaller, okay? So now, I love my tape diagrams, you guys know that, so here we go, my tape diagram, all right? Now, my whole number, what is it? I mean, we only have 1/4, that's our only number here, okay? But we do know when we're converting that there are 16 ounces in 1 pound. So guess what our whole is? You're right, it is 16, okay? Looking back here, our denominator is 4, so we're gonna divide this up into 4, okay? Doesn't this look familiar from yesterday? Okay, and then we're trying to figure out what one of those is, okay? All right, so now, can I now figure out what each one of these is? So you're going to think 16 divided by 4, whew, that looks like a weird 6, divided by 4 is, and hopefully you said 4, okay? So each one is 4. And I'm not going to fill it in because this is really hard to write in. Okay? But we're only talking about one of those. So I know my answer right now is 4 ounces. Okay? Now that's the tape diagram. If you want, you can definitely solve it numerically. All right? So here we go. We can look at this. We have 1/4 times 1 pound. All right? I'm going to go ahead and convert 1 pound into ounces right now. So I'm going to multiply it by 16 ounces. Okay, now learning what we did yesterday, we can go ahead and multiply 16 times 1, okay, and we're going to get 16 over 4. All right, then we're going to go ahead and reduce. 4 can go into 16 how many times? 4 times, and look at that, we get the same exact thing. All right, let's keep going. Problem 2. All right, 3/4 of a foot is equal to how many inches, okay? What's different about this? Well, first of all, we're not talking about 1 anymore. We're talking about 3, okay? Second, we're not in pounds and ounces anymore. We're in feet and inches, okay? So we're not going to be multiplying by 16. We're going to be multiplying by 12 because there are 12 inches in 1 foot. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this numerically. If you want to, you can do it in a tape diagram, but because we're going to move away from tape diagrams for a little bit, we're going to go ahead, I'm going to solve it numerically. So I have 3/4, I'm going to multiply it by 12. Why? Because there's 12 inches in 1 foot. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and multiply 3 times 12. Okay, that will get me 36 over 4. All right, and how many times can 4 go into 36? 9 times. All right, there's your answer. Okay? Now, remember, another way that you could have done this is you could have reduced first. Now, if you look, I'm going to go ahead and extend this, just like we did yesterday. And I see that 12 and 4, there's something that can go into both. Let me guess. 4. I mean, you could do 2 if you wanted to, but 4 is the bigger one. So I'm going to go ahead and use that one. And 4 can go into 12 3 times. And look at that. 3 times 3 is, boink, 9. Bam. Okay? 2 different ways to do it. Your choice. Figure out what you want to do. All right, here's problem 3. Mrs. Thomas spends 2/3 of every year in Rwanda. How many months does she spend in Rwanda each year? Okay, so again, we're only looking at one number here, 2/3. But through our words, and hopefully we're reading closely, we can figure out that we're talking about every year, and we're talking about how many months, right? So we're going from 2/3 of a year equals how many months, okay? So here's our, you can either do tape diagram or you can do your numerical, but doesn't matter. I'm going to go ahead and do it numerically. So I'm going to multiply by 12. Why? Because there are 12 months in every year. Okay, so you see I'm getting the whole from my conversions, all right? Then I'm going to go ahead and multiply 12 times 2, and I get 24 over 3, and you can reduce. In your quiz, you're going to tell me what that answer is. All right, and there is lesson 9. Good job.